If you're watching this with kids around, you might want to actually click out and come back because it's going to get a little bit animated and I might use some words that you don't want your kids to hear. So in this video, I want to talk about gratitude and the downside of doing business. So let's firstly look at the downside of doing business. So I'm going to make two comparisons, or let me just stick to one comparison for the sake of time. I want to keep this as short as possible. Let's say you are somebody who studied engineering, and in the engineering field you want to become a mechanic, and then you've got a friend who studied the same thing with you in the same class, and then when you are both done with your engineering courses, you take two different paths in life. The friend goes for getting a job, and then you go for starting a business. You have to understand that you and your friend are not going to be on the same level financially from year 1 and year 10, for example. Okay? In the first year that they get their job, within the first month, they will get a salary. And since you chose to go for business, since you chose to be an entrepreneur with your skill set and your knowledge that you got from college, you are not going to make money in the first month. Your friend in the second month is making more money. You are still not making money in your second month. In fact, you probably make a little bit from that one client, from a family member that knows that you did engineering and you are now a qualified mechanic. The friend is in month 3 and they are making money. You are still not making enough money. It is month 4 and they are gaining more experience than you. You are still having a little bit of experience from the little bit of clients that you are now starting to get. And you are still not making the same amount of money they made in their first month in their job. It is month 6 and now they are buying a fucking car. Because yes, they can afford it. They have guaranteed income from their job. You cannot even fathom the idea of buying yourself a car at month 6. Month 12, your friend gets an apartment, or they decide that, you know what, my salary is good enough and I'm going to apply for a home loan and get a house. Only now you are considering that I might get a second-hand car at some point in my life, but I am not yet ready. You are now proving yourself to your customers and they are coming to you more and more. But because you don't have that much experience, you don't do a lot of things, and therefore you don't get a lot of customers. Your friend financially is way ahead of you. Experientially, they are way ahead of you. They have worked with more customers within that business that they work for than you have in that whole 12 months. But understand something. After another 12 months, this is 24 months, your friend financially, if you compare yourself to them, that is going to kill you emotionally. That is going to make you suffer emotionally. You're going to have anxiety and all sorts of things. At month 24, financially, they are way, way, way ahead of you. And they may also be aware of it. And they may think to themselves, I made a better decision getting a job instead of starting a business. And they may look at you as like, why are you still doing this? Get a job like I did and become more financially stable. In fact, you will also have those thoughts. I don't care how mentally strong you are. You are going to have those thoughts yourself that I should have gotten a job the first month, just like my friend did, and I probably would be better financially. And to a certain extent, that is true. But you have to understand something, that when you decide to start a business and become an entrepreneur, there is no fucking plan B, even if the plan B of getting a job as a mechanic is there. Being an entrepreneur is the plan. The business is the plan. And you have to fucking stick to it. And guess what? You are going to fail here and there. It's just part of doing business. At month 72, that's 3 years, right? 4 years, 4 years. My math is doing bad right now. But at year number 4, your friend is probably still the same mechanic in the same position, and they got a little bit of a raise so that their salary can sort of meet the financial demands of the country. As inflation goes up, they only get a raise to meet cost of living. They are still in the same position. It is 4 years. You are now experienced as a mechanic. You are now getting a lot of customers. In fact, you get so many customers that you need assistance. and you hire someone who is studying as a mechanic, you hire someone who just finished studying as a mechanic so that they can help you with the amount of customers that you are getting. It seems that you are making more money than you did before, but now because you have assistants, you have to pay the assistant, and you also have to pay rent. You have other things that you have to pay for to ensure that your business keeps on growing, including marketing in that. Your friend is still making more money than you actually. But remember, I said that year 1 to year 10 are not going to be the same. We go into year number 6, and in year number 6, you are now starting to see the benefits of your business. You already have a car. By year 4, you probably already have a car. You are a mechanic, so you are connected to people who can get you nice second-hand cars. But year number 6, you are now making so much money that you now also consider getting your own apartment if you continued living at home, and if you didn't have that choice and you had to rent somewhere, whether a room and an apartment, you are now at year number 6 thinking of buying your own house because you are making enough money. You are probably matching what they made by year number 4, that friend. Year number 8, they cannot fathom the amount of money that you are making in your business, that friend. They cannot even process that you could be making so much money. To them, it makes absolutely no sense. The reason for that is because they are in a job. They may even be stuck in that job. They may have left the company that they worked for in the first 3-4 years. They are in another company that gave them a raise of $500 or 3,000 rands, depending on where you are watching this from. Their raise made them feel as though now they are making even more money. But then you have grown in your business, and your business is making so much money, even you are now surprised, and you think back at the times where you used to struggle and you actually cannot remember the struggles that you were going through 8 years back. And I'm saying 8 years because it does sometimes take that long. This is an hypothetical example or scenario, but in many cases it takes that long to build a business. Within the first 5 years, the statistics are already there. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years. I have businesses that have failed many times. And if you have failed in any business twice, 3 times or 4 times, you are ready for the growth phase. And I say this because in the past 8 to 10 years of me hustling, I've started businesses and they have all failed. And the businesses that I'm in right now is growing. And this is where I segue into the importance of gratitude as an entrepreneur. Because I look back to when I started hustling, and I was struggling, man. Financially, I was struggling. I was struggling to have food just to eat. I would ensure that a loaf of bread lasts me 5 to 6 days. And mind you, by day 5, it's no longer fresh. It doesn't taste as good as it did on day 1. And I have to make it last that long, meaning that I have to eat 2 or 3 slices a day. A fucking day. Just to sustain myself that I don't faint. And I was so skinny. Now, I can't even remember the time where I struggled, unless I really think about it and I remember those times. And now, the space that I'm recording this video is a shop. I've been thinking about getting a shop for a very long time, and I finally got that shop, and I'm hustling in my shop. And I started thinking about, you know what, I need to get me a car. People have to see that I'm hustling and things are doing well for me, but they don't have to actually. And these things started making me have a bit of anxiety that, look, I've now got my shop is gonna grow, I'm gonna make more money, but people have to see it. I also have to see it. Do I need a car right now? Slightly. A car will get me some advantages, but I'm not incapable of doing anything right now because I don't have a car. But I wanted a car. Part of me says because I wanted people to see that business is doing well. Part of me was like, I needed to do things and get places to go see my beautiful daughter. But I can do all these things even without a car. And it got me thinking, you know what? I'm concentrating on things that are not important at the moment. The important thing is that I've gotten to where I've gotten, and through sheer willpower, failing many times and telling myself I'm going to stick to the plan. And mind you, I don't have a degree, a diploma to fall back on. And even if you do, it is nothing to fall back on. Entrepreneurship and business is the plan. You are not the only person you know with a degree, diploma that does not do the job that they studied for, or they are unable to get a job even with that qualification. You are not the only person that you know. Why would you think that your certificate the piece of paper is your fallback plan if your business fails. Your business is definitely going to fail. If you are starting a business now, understand that your business is definitely going to fail. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is the part of the process. You need to go through the failure in order for you to see success. So, talking of gratitude, I had to recenter myself and think to myself, listen, man, you've got your shop now. Finally, you don't have to work under people, renting spaces in people's shops and getting exploited of the money that you make yourself. You can now exploit yourself and reinvest into the business. You don't need to get things that you don't need. I don't need to get another watch. This one works just fine. I don't need to get another phone to record myself. This one works just fine. You can see me with the exception of this microphone over here. My public transport system works fine as well. So I'm grateful for where I am, and I have to remind myself to be grateful. And a lot of you who do watch my videos have gotten to a point where your businesses are also growing, and you have to understand that gratitude is very important. I'm done with this video, and if you've watched to this point, subscribe to the channel, help me grow. I would like to grow on YouTube as well. I've never really, well, I don't usually say it, but I'd really like to grow here on YouTube as well. So yeah, do subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.